Hey everybody, it's Jared with Bitumio. Today we're going to talk about free trial accounts. Once you sign up, what's in the account already? What are the settings that are advantageous for you to go in and change so that when you create proposals, the numbers start to make sense. There's some default settings in here like addresses that when you define an address to a job, we're going to auto calculate the travel time and the transfer trucking time from that address that's within the system to the job site. Now, if you're in New York and the default address is in Utah, where we're home based, that's going to result in some really weird numbers. And so coming in here, editing these default values is going to be really advantageous to get the most out of your free trial. So let's go ahead and jump in. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to go to our organization info tab here. This is where we can select a logo. So this logo will be included in all of your proposals and your work orders, everything like that, right? So you can select your logo and upload it there. Next thing we want to do down here, what is your average working hours per day? A lot of people work 4 10s or 4 12s, 5 10s. So I'm going to go ahead and say we work 10 hours a day, okay? And then the last thing here is the address. So in our proposals, we use this address to calculate travel time or distance from your shop, your yard, where you're dispatching crews, from your shop to the job site location. So this is going to give you round trip travel time, okay? So you can come in here, you can either edit this one, or you can create a new address and put your address in here of your shop. And once you have this done, make sure and click this primary address button. This tells our system that this is the address from which you're going to be dispatching crews and the address that we need to use to calculate travel time to and from the job. So come in here, enter this information, number one thing, okay? The next thing that we want to do, I'm going to walk you through a couple of these product settings. So we have some sample crews in here. Sorry, this is equipment, not crews. So we have some sample pieces of equipment in here for the products that we've added, and I'll show you in just a sec. We have some sample crews, an asphalt crew and a crack seal crew. Those are the two types of products we have configured in here by default when you create your account. We have a plant from which you're going to be pulling material from. Again, this is important because when we come into here, this is an address. When you add an asphalt product to a proposal, we're going to calculate the distance between the job and the plant for your trucking purposes, okay? So it's important to add a plant or update this plant with a local plant from which you typically pull materials from, so that when we add that to a proposal, we're going to calculate that travel distance and the trucking charges correctly for you, okay? And again, if you don't want to do this, right, and you just want to go ahead and create a proposal, great, go create a proposal. I'm trying to explain some of the reasons why the numbers like travel time, working time, transfer truck time, they may be a little bit off because we're using default values here, okay? So you can update this plant. Transfer trucks come already. We have 3. If we use different combinations of trucks, right, you can throw those in there as well. So now let's look at 2 quick products. So here we have an asphalt product. This is just a 1/2 inch commercial mix. You can come in here and edit this to whatever you want. Here we're saying that our crew can do 2,500 square feet in a day. If you wanted to change this, you can change this production rate and do, say, 50 tons per hour instead of square feet per day, whichever you want. Asphalt depth in inches, so you do a 3 inch or a 4 inch lay. This is automatically set to 4 inches. You've got the plant, so we're pulling material from that plant by default. You can change this as a proposal. And we're pulling this asphalt product. There's other products if you set up within that plant. If you have an APWA spec or a different commercial spec, you can set prices and configurations for those within the plant. we're saying that for this product, these are the 3 pieces of equipment that we're going to add to the proposal by default every single time. You can add additional ones here if you want, you can remove these. But suffice it to say, this is the default setup for this asphalt product when you create your account. The last thing, so everything up until this point is configured for you. You don't have to do anything with that if you don't want to, okay? The last thing that we do have to create is some company contact information. So I'm just gonna do bitumio.com as the company, right? The website. This is optional. Email Jared@Bitumio. So now we have our company, okay? Now we're ready to go into the proposal, create a proposal. We have our company, we have our contact. Let's say internal sales. We'll continue. Stage name, I'm gonna do commercial lot. If you want information about what a stage is and how you can use it, go visit our video on creating an asphalt product or creating a preservation maintenance product, and that'll explain those differences. This is just a local office complex. And now when we come into here, we have our 2 products. We didn't talk about the crack seal one. You can go check that one out. That one, you specify your crack depth and crack width, your overband. All of these are default settings. And so now once we add a size, a job size, or we measure it on the map, all of this will calculate for you. Hopefully that's helpful to get you up and running. Like I said, there's several different default settings we put in here, but if you're not used to it, if you're out in New York, you're up in the Northwest, Washington, Oregon, or California, right? And you're saying that this is the job in Utah, right? If your job is in California, excuse me, and our default address is in Utah, then when we calculate this round trip travel time, you're gonna have some pretty funky numbers. And when we calculate transfer checks, again, you're gonna have some pretty funky numbers. So just be aware that there's lots of defaults in here. Hopefully that walks you through where to edit those defaults so that you can get them to be a little bit more precise or very precise for your application. Hope that helps. Look forward to talking to you. Please reach out with any questions. Thanks for checking us out.